Good morning. See this look on my face? That's that, did you ever just feel like you took way too long to realize something kinda obvious? But what's obvious to me may sound extremely unlikely to somebody else who doesn't share my experience, and I can understand that. So what I'm going to tell you is, you know, something worth looking into if you can get Google to behave properly. Um, but at this point, it's purely speculation in real time. Um, well, 5 minutes in, just as my wife was leaving for work, I had this thought sitting there looking at the new Facebook news about their God knows what they're doing to their fucking news feed. If if no more of my friends commit suicide, job well done. Mm-hmm. Not friends I was in regular contact with. Not friends I was even seeing the posts of. But friends that I hugged every time I saw. Every time. But because I didn't like Ukraine being invaded, I was flagged. Why would Facebook do that? When they got their Russian investment, 2009, Sergei Gorkov. Well, in 2009, 2008 actually, I was kind of listening to a friend lose his shit, much the way, I am forced into narcissistic dribble because of the indignant way I've been treated here on YouTube. And I'm ashamed to admit it, at the time was very tedious. But I wish I was in a position. I was in no position as far as my personal stress load went. Good God, I was in bad shape. Um, but he was a political activist named Mike Zugberger. I'm having trouble remembering his name to give you an idea how fucked up Google's going to be when you try to find him. It might have been Mark Zuckerberg. Imagine that. But I kind of want to say it's Mike just to make the Googling easier. But I called him Zugberger. Okay? And in one of my old deactivated cell phone SIM cards, I probably still have his old phone number. And if you can find the news stories about him, what you will find is that he was a marijuana legalization activist. Okay? And I don't know too much about the details of everything that he did. But what he would do was basically trigger court cases by being a legal citizen, having a prescription in one state, and trying to go to another with it on the plane. On a plane. And just fucking bringing weed with them on a plane from one state to another. That's some bold shit, huh? That was 2008. This was before Obama. He was doing that during the Bush years. Whew. Cajones. So anyway. Now, I've made the case on this channel. And I think anyone who really just analyzes the data, and especially the historical data, and be comprehensive about it, okay, you find that during times of Russian influence in Afghanistan and those areas, you have an increase in the heroin trade and other such derivatives. And, I've never tried heroin. Not even remotely interested. But I hear that marijuana, I've been educated by the DARE program, that marijuana and heroin are both downers, right? Okay, so I would presume that heroin has some much more intense effect, from what I've seen in movies and shit like that, and from what I've known on people who've gotten into it, namely my friend Ashley, who died because of a fentanyl overdose. That's been coming from Russia, too. And that wasn't even supposed to be in what she was doing. So, how convenient is it connected? The need to suppress one of the most, and I mean, he really was the only guy that had a name, how every movement needs a name, like a face. He was becoming that name and that face, and then Facebook got big, and then his face got small. Yeah. For me to draw a conclusion, I must establish tactical precedent. Now, that's why I've said the way I've known so many things that I've known is because I'm a reincarnated being and I've seen the invasion of the West occur over and over again. This is like fucking Groundhog Day to me. Okay? It's like Groundhog Day meets Helm's Deep. Okay? More doors coming, motherfuckers. Let's pause. Let me get off this fucking tangent so I can find a cosigner. Yeah. Clownfish. Hookers and blow. Hookers and blow. Yeah. Does anybody remember what the point of this video was? Dad, press the button in the middle of the news scroll thing. Facebook. Zuckerman's famous pig. That's some web. Holy Charlotte sheep shit, Batman. Charlottesville's Wait, web? Hmm, it's an Illuminati sign. No, no. I'm just being ridiculous at this point. Zugberger. All right. So I don't think it's a stretch that Russians have been backing Republicans in general and anti-marijuana policy in general to advance their financial interests. One of those interests is heroin trafficking. Marijuana is a competitive thing, much safer and more natural and less controllable thing. And you know how these mafia types in the Russian oligarchy and the Trumpian oligarchy love their control. That's why they're called authoritarians. Now, what an opportunity. And if connected, if just, like, is that even his real name? Zuckerberg? What kind of name is that anyway? Have you ever heard that name before him? Have you ever heard that once? Just once? Zuckerberg? I'm just thinking of Charlotte's Web. Just every time. Zuckerman's favorite pig? Zuckerman's favorite pig. Oh, yeah, he liked that pig. Anyways. Squeal like a pig, boy. Okay, I had to. I'm sorry. I apologize. I have apologized, and I shall be delivered. Meow, 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 meow. I said liver, so uh, I want chicken. I want liver. Meow mix, please deliver. Okay, what the fuck am I talking? Facebook. Yeah, I do this to be entertaining. I'm really not this much of a spaz. I don't, you know, my head's trapped in a box, so I think it must do funny things. Look, I bounce like a little. It's head pong. I'm a 95 Windows. I'm a Windows 95 screensaver. Okay, see, it's fucking stupid. But I could not do that in person, could I? Really fucking trip somebody out if I could. If I couldn't pull it off, well, that'd probably be the most awkward looking thing. I hope someone asks me to do it, just because of how awkward and hilarious it would be. Like find some sort of a frame to hold up around my head. And that's what I could do when I see people in person. I'll just put a little black frame around my head so it looks like I'm on a video. I think I'm indulging this train of thought a little too much. Gonna move on. So, something about paper on your head. Facebook. Yeah. Oh, now there's a kitten being cute in front of me. This is really going well. Great time for Bruce to just go right across the front of the tank, like, hey! Yes, Bruce is still just fine. Thanks to one of my first donations received on the channel was helped by Bruce a big old batch of mices. We wound up going to a fucking aquaculture facility over there on the other side of Baton Rouge. Biggest bags of mysis I ever seen in my life. I could open up a mysis store off of that fucking mysis we got. Never mind. So, Anyway, what I was saying. In conclusion, I guess I was, too close to the conclusion, and I wanted to make some fucking jokes, so I tried. Hope you laughed or pooed a little. I don't know. Man, whatever you tend to do at your age. I think that might have actually been funny, and I apologize for that. Okay, so maybe. In conclusion, in addition to collusion, let me paint some reality to this illusion that Americans seem to be living under. See, what you got to ask yourself when you come to kind of a brick wall in connecting two things, because I mean, what do you have but basic logic to connect something? Well, surprisingly enough, kids, basic logic doesn't stand up in a fucking court of law, does it? That's only if basic logic prevailed in a congressional body that passed laws and shit. What are the chances of that happening? Uh, well, what you got to ask yourself is not just are the people behind this capable of this level of planning, but can you trace back historically a pattern of activity relation to their adherence to power? Okay, so was there a movement one way that was then reversed as certain individuals gained power who would have had that agenda? Savvy? So, in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, there was one of the first mainstream waves towards legalization. And people were talking about, why doesn't Bill Clinton legalize? Okay. Nobody believes he didn't inhale. He's a smart man. So he probably inhaled. Because that would have been wasteful if he didn't. Smart people aren't wasteful. That's my logic. Wouldn't hold up in court, though. So then you have the little Russian girl with the fake cum stain scandal. If that cum stain was real, Hillary would have left him. That's just my theory. But I don't know how like little old Christian ladies are up north, but in the South they will leave your ass and take half your shit every single time. Okay. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but Hillary Clinton is from the South. Bill Clinton is from the South. That wasn't that good. I'm already. I had a I had an extremely redneck incident in which I almost beat the shit out of two people yesterday. So I'm in just an extra thin country accent mode. I wound up calling the cops on. Oh, I wound up calling my wife and telling them to call the landlord. And then landlord said called the cops, so she called the cops, and I waited for the cops and showed them my fucking videotape. And I'm debating on whether or not to show y'all. But suffice to say, it's some juicy shit. Fucking. If they were a couple years older, I'd have beat the shit out of them. They look right on the cusp of being minors. Couldn't be too sure. Walking around fucking shooting BB guns at cats. My cats and my neighbor's cats. Homie, don't play that. Anyway, I made another new cop friend. That was cool. He already knew me. He already knew me. He's one of the guys I've been waving to when I'm out there trying to slow traffic down. And he was putting in all kinds of different words for me for the bus stop and stuff. I heard people getting pulled over down the road too, just where he said he was going to put them. Put some cops. Anyways, that's cool. Um, tell you what, man. Even if you did something wrong, when you see a cop these days, you shake their hand and you thank them for their service. I couldn't imagine myself going to jail because I'm, you know, capable of making good decisions. But I just I wish people had that spirit of love and honor back. Maybe it's a pipe dream. That's what the internet was supposed to be for in the beginning, back in the 90s. You know, we thought it was going to make the world a better place. Little did we know. We our want to make the world a better place was harnessed by the Russians in a concerted propaganda effort to subvert the United States government, to make people paranoid, to make the trending topic for anyone researching any sort of scientific or intellectual subject to be that the United States government was hiding everything from aliens to demons. From Oppenheimer being fucking possessed by a UFO to Aleister Crowley helping the CIA channel interdimensional beings and shit like that. Okay, like there is some wild shit that has been spread on the internet. And we were all like, oh, the Cold War's over and all these Russians are so smart. Thank God they're teaching us all this stuff. That's what happened. That's why everybody thinks the way they fucking do. It's sad. And I connected those dots. Those dots connect quite consistently. From Alex Jones all the way to Trump. From 9/11 all the way to 11/9. And if you have from 98 to 2016, cutoff period, 90, 98, you want to be 18 years old, okay? So they can vote in Miami-Dade County, where that news story said there was a whole lot of Russians going to Trump Towers and having babies. Wonder how long they've been doing that. You think they were doing it in the 90s? Because if they were doing it between 91 and 98, by the 2016 elections in Miami-Dade County, they could have had 1,600 Russian citizens voting for Donald Trump in that one county. And that's just if they were only having 150 babies a year. That's a pretty small number. considering the manpower that Russia can bring to bear. Say 150 Russian proper. How many more Cuban communists? Well, they got what they paid for. I never met a Cuban who wasn't a smart, hardworking motherfucker. To think that they were down there voting for Trump, they had to have been propagandized at the very least. Silver spoon fed fucking carpetbagger motherfucker. Anyway. So, this period in the late 90s, and that conservative wave. You know, there ain't nothing about Bush personally that should make him anti-marijuana. There's nothing about Texas that's innately anti-marijuana. It's that secret lobby that seems to have influence and start things like the Tea Party and keep things like the Klan going. Turns out it's Russia. Always has been. They don't like marijuana because they got fucking heroin to sell. And the only reason why that dumbass pawn is parading around with fucking millions of dollars in his pocket, he didn't do anything. He had shit done for him. And his name was used to subvert a political movement that would have legalized marijuana. And I would say Google it, but that's kind of the point. Zugberger is going to be hard to fucking Google. But if anybody can get the link to one of his many arrest stories, please post it in the comments, and I will try to do the same. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please click the like button on the past few videos. I'm not seeing a whole lot of thumbs ups for the views I'm getting. And feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Check your subscriptions if you are a subscriber, because they'll fall off. And just be warned, you might not get notifications around here. Because as far as I've determined, there are some Russian agents working at the international office in Europe of Google, and they like to come in here and fuck with my account. So do what you can to help. Share my videos, click like button, be on top of that for me, so I stand a chance. Thanks for watching. Peace.